Right now, a new global power struggle is unfolding all around us. But this time, it's not about nuclear arms or clashing ideologies. Nope. This is a battle over algorithms, over data, and over silicon. We're talking about the AI Cold War. And in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly what's at stake. Former Treasury Secretary Hank Paulson put it perfectly. He called it an economic iron curtain. And we're not talking about a physical wall here. This is a digital one. And it's splitting the world into two fiercely competitive tech ecosystems. This very division is the foundation of the AI Cold War. So what are we really talking about when we say AI Cold War? Well, it's this escalating tension, primarily between the US and China. But the battleground isn't some patch of land. It's technology itself. This is a high-stakes race for dominance over the semiconductors, the AI models, and the military power that will literally define the next 100 years. Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to pull back the silicon curtain and look at the intense battle for computer chips. Then we'll step onto the digital battlefield. From there, we'll dive into the global race for supremacy. And finally, we'll tackle the big question. Where is all this headed? Cooperation or escalation? So, the first front in this war, it's all about the hardware. We're pulling back what's called the silicon curtain to get a look at the fight for the actual chips that power every single AI. And here's the bottom line, it's really this simple. There is no advanced AI without advanced semiconductors. These tiny silicon engines are what drive the entire AI revolution. So, the nation that controls the chips, well, they control the future. And that's because these chips aren't just components in your phone or laptop anymore, they are absolutely critical geopolitical assets. Seriously, leadership in chip design and manufacturing translates directly into a massive strategic advantage on the world stage. And you can see the big players are making their moves. The U.S. CHIPS Act is this enormous $280 billion investment aimed squarely at boosting American manufacturing to counter China. The EU is right there with its own CHIPS Act, trying to achieve what they call strategic autonomy. Make no mistake, this is industrial policy on a wartime footing. And you can't talk about the chip war without talking about Taiwan. It is literally at the epicenter. Its main company, TSMC, produces over 90%, that's 90, of the world's most advanced AI chips. This makes the island completely indispensable. U.S. trade restrictions have gone after this supply chain, while China's own chipmaker, SMIC, is racing to catch up, partly by hiring away top talent from TSMC. It's a high-stakes game of technology, trade, and talent. Okay, so once you have control of the hardware, the next question is, what do you do with it? And that brings us to the most dangerous part of all this, the digital battlefield, where AI is completely changing the nature of modern warfare. So how exactly is this happening? Well, think about it. AI brings speed, scale, and autonomy to the battlefield in ways we've just never seen before. This creates these incredible new opportunities for defense, but also terrifying new methods of attack. AI in this space is a real double-edged sword. On one side, you've got offensive AI, using machine learning to create smarter malware, hyper-realistic deepfakes for disinformation, and automated phishing campaigns that are almost impossible for a human to spot. But on the other side, you've got defensive AI, which uses those exact same principles to predict and stop threats faster than any person ever could. It's a classic arms race, just happening at the speed of light. And look, this isn't some far-off sci-fi scenario. It's happening right now. A recent Google report found that over 57 different nation-state groups are already using AI tools like Gemini for their operations. They're using it for everything, for reconnaissance, for writing way more convincing phishing emails, troubleshooting their malware code, and even, get this, drafting cover letters to try and place spies inside Western tech companies. The digital battlefield is very, very active. But this race isn't just about spies and soldiers. The real price here, the long game, is about economic dominance and all the global political influence that comes with it. This is about shaping the entire next century. Just look at the European Union's AI Continent Plan. This isn't just some policy paper, it is a full-on blueprint built on 5 strategic pillars. The goal is to make sure Europe isn't just buying AI from America or China, but that it's building its own and becomes a sovereign AI power. And when you zoom out, you can actually see the whole world splitting into these different camps.
You've got your cooperative nations, the aggressive ones, and the reactive ones. It's like a new world map is being drawn, but the borders are based on AI strategy, not geography.
And this chart, it shows something really fascinating. Look at China. Its top-down control gets it top marks for AI integration. The US is right there too, but maybe a bit more chaotic, so its stability scores lower. Meanwhile, the EU is playing it safer, prioritizing regulation, which might make them a bit slower but more stable. These are three totally different ways to play the game.
And here are the actual numbers behind that story. You can really see how China's aggressive, state-led approach is paying off, at least in terms of these scores. The US is an economic powerhouse for sure, but that lower stability number is definitely something to watch. This is how we can start to quantify this massive geopolitical game being played out.
So, all of this leads us to the biggest question of all. Where is this heading? Are we stuck on a path of pure competition, or is there another way? Can this race be managed, or are we just destined for conflict? But here's an interesting thought, kind of a counterpoint to the whole two giants are neck and neck narrative. This is from Jeff Ding at George Washington University. He argues that we focus way too much on who's innovating the fastest, and we forget about diffusion capacity, which is just a fancy way of saying the ability to actually spread and use new tech across your whole country. He points out that outside of a few big cities, China is actually way behind in this, which suggests the race might not be as close as we think. So, is there a way out of this escalation? Well, maybe we can look to the past. During the original Cold War, the US and the Soviet Union, sworn enemies on pretty much every other front, actually worked together on something called permissive action links. Basically, they were safety switches for nukes to prevent an accident. And now people are asking, do we need something just like that, but for the most powerful AIs? A way to manage the risks together. The bottom line is this. The future of AI is not some distant concept. It's being built, coded, and deployed today. The decisions being made right now in Washington, Beijing, and Brussels are locking us into one of two paths. Will we create a permanent digital battlefield where everyone is a target? Or can we find a way to build a framework for global collaboration to handle the most powerful technology humanity has ever created? The stakes just couldn't be higher.